Welcome to the Backpack and Bushes podcast, brought to you by Enlightened Equipment. With me today is the legendary podcaster, the most famous man that can be found in the Red River Gorge, John Kelley. How's it going, my friend?
You actually said that wrong. It's actually the most famous person whose name isn't Jeremiah Stringer or Jason Waugh.
I'm just telling you my experience. Like, when I go there and you start telling stories about people are like, "What's up, John?" Like, as you pass rando strangers on the trail, to me, that feels famous.
Well, I will say regionally popular.
Okay. Speaking of the Red River Gorge, so I don't know if we talked about this because I hopped on your podcast last year after that trip. And do you remember playing bocce ball?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I know you remember playing bocce ball, but we were playing bocce ball, and then you were super sensitive, I think, about your hammock setup. You did not want the bocce ball going near your hammock. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can a bocce ball wreck your hammock?
Well, it wasn't could the bocce ball wreck it? It was that people were intentionally throwing them hard into tents. And I've got a Dyneema tarp, and yeah, I mean, it's supposed to handle stuff, but do I really want to test it? You know, it was more of that kind of. I didn't mind if they like rolled it down the tarp or something. Like, it was when they would throw it at it like Nolan Ryan at the tarp. I was like,
okay. So you didn't want to do a field test of like Dyneema tarp strength, basically.
I'm not Steve Smith. No.
Okay, I'll have to ask him about that, and we'll see if he's willing to do that with his stuff. But
I'm sure he probably would.
I was thinking back. I'm like, yeah, like, you're pretty protective of your gear. You think the bocce ball's gonna do some damage?
I'm a snowflake, man. I can't handle it.
Okay, all right. Well, we know where you prioritize stuff. So that was one story that we never talked about. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, we never did talk about that. You're right.
Speaking of trips, we're planning on doing a trip this summer out here in Colorado, and I don't know if that's like a fake invite or not. Is that really happening?
I want it to.
Okay.
I just know I don't know anything about where to go or anything, so I just need to figure out like a time and where we're going.
I'll share this. When I invite Derek on a trip and his response is, "Well, I want to go," which is basically what you just said, 0% chance he's going.
Oh, but it's different for me. It's
okay.
I can't plan the trip because I literally don't know anything about Colorado. So I was just going to lean on you to plan it. Tell me when to get there, and I will get there, and we will hike, and I will let you be my leader.
Gotcha. This sounds like an awesome deal. So I'm getting invited on a trip, and then I'm getting invited to plan the entire trip. That's amazing. Thank you for that invite.
I didn't think it was an invite. I thought it was we both agreed I needed to come to Colorado and hike with you. I thought that's what was going on here.
I sent out like 3 or 4 options to Devin Ashby, so we'll see if that happens. I just didn't know if that was a fake invite or not. If that was just like,
no, I definitely would like to. And Devin, I know Devin and I talked about it. We definitely want to make it happen.
All right, we'll see. I just wanted to get it like recorded so that everybody knew that you were part of this deal. So
yeah, and I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about it because the last time I talked about a trip I was going on with you, I got yelled at. So I
get yelled at? What are you talking about? You got firmly reprimanded. Yeah, the Red River Gorge trip. Then 25 people signed up immediately because they're like, John Kelley's going. Like, I got to go on that trip. And that was
I don't know about that.
That was a lot of fun, but that was a lot of effort to plan for sure. So
that was a great trip, man. You did an awesome job on that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No, seriously, and I'm glad you let me lead out the hike the last day because that's a fun hike, going back that back way to get out.
Yeah, we kind of pulled an audible, and then you're like, let's go this way. I think people had a good time with that for sure. So that was good. So that's not what this episode's about, though. We're talking about gear companies that are simply ripping you off. And I've actually tried to do this episode for a while with various guests, and people are like hands off, that they don't want to. I don't know if they don't want to tell the truth, but they want to keep their options open. They don't want to burn any bridges. And I just want to tell the truth. Like, I'm not saying that all these companies are bad, at least from my perspective. I'm just saying that there might be some products that they have that are ripoffs. Like, what's your perspective on this?
Yes. I think there are some companies that just overprice stuff. And I don't think it makes any sense.
So the whole company's a ripoff?
Not the whole company, but I would definitely say certain products are.
Okay, that's what I said.
Is that fair to say? I would say that. I would say that certain companies should just reevaluate some of their prices a little bit.
That's a nice way of saying it. So
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
That's the polite way of saying it's a ripoff.
Why don't you reevaluate? Okay, so speaking of ripoffs, so what's the biggest like not backpacking related, just anything in the world. What's the biggest ripoff you've ever seen?
Biggest ripoff I've ever seen?
Yeah, or experience. Maybe you participated and you bought something. You're like, dude, I can't believe that cost this much. And
anybody who tries to tell you how to do better on social media.
Oh, like all of the people that reach out to you because you're a podcaster?
The companies that are like, we'll get you 1 million views inside of 2 weeks and we'll get you 5,000 subscribers in 5 days. Right. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Why is that a ripoff? That sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, if it worked. If it worked. They don't look at the person and go, oh, if you have they don't look at him and go, oh, by the way, if you don't have a personality and you're not funny or have any kind of presence on the screen, good luck. Like, they don't do any of that. They just tell you, oh, we're going to get you this. And
I know.
It just doesn't work like that.
I think it works, man. I think it totally works. I just think they're all robots.
I mean, whatever works for you, you know?
Counts. That's funny because my answer was Ford trucks.
Ooh, hot take.
Is that?
Not a big fan of Ford.
I just say Ford in general, but so my first vehicle I ever bought in the early 2000s was a Ford Ranger. And when I went to test drive it, I got inside the truck and put it in reverse to kind of back out of the spot, and reverse didn't work. And the guy's like, I've never seen this happen, but a brand new vehicle, basically the transmission doesn't work. And so we tried another vehicle. I ended up buying it. And then at 40,000 miles, the transmission goes out. So,
oh my God,
I don't buy one forever. And then I bought a 2019 Ford F-150 a couple years ago. And basically after like a year and a half, the transmission went out worse. They're like, we have to completely take out the transmission and install a new one. And so that's my take. That's why I say that.
Yeah, I bought a used Dodge Dakota once. And the day after I bought it, I was driving like 2 hours down the road on the interstate, and the engine blew up.
Okay.
So I get it, man. Sometimes you just get a lemon. It's just a shame that it's constantly been Ford for you.
3 for 3 is all I'm trying to say. So I hope everybody else has better experiences out there, but those are my experiences.
I believe we call that the trifecta. Is what we call that. That's the trifecta.
That's what the fancy people say.
Yeah.
Okay. Our Bible verse of the episode is Hebrews 13:5. Keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have. John, are backpackers good at this?
I don't know if it's so much the love of money as it is the love of gear.
It's the lack of contentment, though, right?
There's definitely a lack of contentment.
Right.
Because, I mean, come on. Look at the new thing that's out.
Right.
It's pretty sweet. So,
right.
I would definitely say, I would love to say I don't do that ever.
Okay. But
that would totally be a lie. I do love me some gear, man.
Okay.
Like, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's not even just backpacking. If I'm doing anything, like I just started hunting this year for the first time. I've got blue lights and all that stuff behind me. If I took the blue lights off, you'd be like, what all have you bought already?
Okay. The
fact that my wife still loves me and is married to me just is awesome altogether because I spent a lot of money this year on hunting gear. So I'm that guy. I have like this addictive personality. So
do you want me to send you like a framed inspirational photo with this verse on it that you can kind of put up in your office? Is that helpful?
Only if it's a picture of you holding the verse in your hands.
That can be arranged.
That way it's always Carl looking at me judgmentally.
Okay. And that can be our promo pic for this episode too. So that'll be like kind of double duty.
I like that. I like that.
If we're not content, if some of us are not always content with what we have, we're always looking, we're always shopping. So JK and I are here to warn you about things that are simply ripoffs. And I think your list is longer than mine. So what's your first one? What you got?
Well, I'm going to give you two to start off with. They're connected. I found this company. I just decided to get online and see the most expensive down jacket. I put lightweight down because not everybody does ultralight, but I did put lightweight down. And I found this company called Volleback. They're from Iceland, and they make all of their puffy jackets with eider down, duck down.
What's that mean? Eider?
It's a duck. It's a certain duck. And apparently eider down is filled with the lightest, warmest, and rarest down on Earth. Okay, pull this picture up of it. It is a $5,000 down jacket. $5,000. Now listen, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, man, that's way too expensive. They do have an inexpensive jacket that is considered ultralight.
Okay.
and it's only $995.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
$1,000 for a down jacket. $1,000.
You're here to warn all the folks out there who are about to pull the trigger on a $5,000 jacket, is what you're saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is don't eider down. It's just another duck, people. It's just another duck. It's not that big of a deal.
You save people with it. With this suggestion, people are saved. They're like, "Thank you, John. Thank you."
I believe, and here's the thing: this puffer is made with Dyneema. Like the outside fabric is Dyneema.
Okay, I'm looking at the fine print here on the screen. It says may or may not withstand bocce balls. I don't know if how you get that in there. But
no, it says absolutely will not withstand bocce balls.
Okay.
It says it's way weaker than hammock gear Dyneema tarps.
But the warranty with that much money should be you get to return it if a bocce ball does pierce it for some reason, right?
It's reinforced with the world's strongest fabric.
Okay, so
Dyneema.
What's your alternative? You want to have a puffy jacket, a warm jacket, a lightweight, doesn't have to be ultralight. What would you suggest as an alternative that's not $5,000?
You could simply go to like an REI and buy an REI jacket, like whatever. Are they the magma jackets or something like that? I can't remember what they're called.
Okay,
but their jackets are great. Outdoor Vitals, has fantastic jackets. Also, Decathlon. Decathlon has like $130 puffy jacket that's made with like phenomenal down, and it's basically a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer for like a third of the price.
But even the Ghost Whisperer at like whatever $400 is still a fraction of the price of the one you showed.
You know what's funny about the Ghost Whisperer is I've got two. Okay,
why?
I've got two.
Okay, what's the scenario where you need two?
One I bought because I wanted to wear it.
Okay.
The second one is my goal one.
Oh,
so when I lose the weight to where I can wear it, that's the one I'll wear. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's a goal jacket. But I've got two of them, and neither one did I pay full price for. You can find those things on sale everywhere and on clearance, and
I have a Mountain Hardwear outlet near my house, and they had it on sale. I think they're like retail $400. This was like it was $130, but and
that's not a bad price for a puffy jacket.
No,
man.
It's great. They had 4 colors and only one color in my size, and it was like the yucky color, so I didn't get it, but I was close. I was close.
Yeah,
so.
mine's mint green. I bought it for like $110.
I like that color.
I don't like it, but it works, and it was $110. So
that's better.
Can't complain.
You're just trying to one up me. You're like, I can do better than your 120.
Well, it's not so much one upping; it's just reality. You know, I mean, this is how it is, man. I just can do better.
You're just better. You're just better. All right, you win this time, John. Okay, let's see. A couple weeks ago, we had Justin Outdoors on the show, and I was kind of hassling him about these sleeping pad inflators. And I was like, yeah, they're great. They're lightweight, whatever. They use an external battery. But the Alpenblow microinflator, I just thought more about after the show. And at $58 plus tax, Justin had like a really cool story about how the guy, tests them out, does it in the garage, has robots that somehow test them out, whatever that means. And I was like, that's really cool.
It's called Alpenblow?
Yeah, Alpenblow microinflator. So then I thought more about it. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then I thought, you can just use your mouth with 13 breaths to inflate it for free with one less piece of junk in your pack. So maybe if the price comes down.
Wait, what is this thing? What do you do? Do you blow into it?
No, it's like it blows for you. You know what a sleeping pad inflator is. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, this. Okay. I see what you're saying now. It just looks like somebody put your mouth up against it and you blow into it.
Yeah, well, that's what the nozzle's for on the pad, right?
I think so.
Okay. Either way, rip off. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I'm not going to argue with you on that. For $58, I mean, if people are watching the video of this thing looks pretty weird.
If you could get it down to like 25, I'm going to say maybe, but then when you're also adding the noise pollution to camp, I don't know. I've tried using them, and I think I'm out on those in general, but ones that are overpriced.
Oh, I'm totally in. I'm totally in on pumps
because you like the noise pollution.
But I also like them because I like the ones that double as a light.
Okay.
So you can hang it in, from your tent or your hammock at night and have a light in there. I mean, I like them, but I can see why other people don't. Like, I mean, you are like the king of ultralight. So I mean, there's a reason why you don't want the extra weight.
But it's not always weight though. It's also just like junk and stuff. It's like clutter in your pack. When you're searching for something, you're sifting through more things in your pack. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. What's your next one?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that. My next one, It's the Kodiak Gore-Tex Infinium sleeping bag.
Gore-Tex bag. I love it.
By Western Mountaineering. It's $1,055 for a sleeping bag. Dude, you can buy a whole kit for $1,000. $1,055 for a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Dude, I can go to UGQ. I can deluxe that thing out as much as I want. I can't get it to $1,000.
Right. Dude, we're on the same page, man. I have Western Mountaineer on my list too. And I found one, they had a $1,400 bag that was like a negative 40-degree bag, but I was like, this is not something people are going to buy. So I tried to find one that people might actually buy. And so the one that I found was called the Ultralight, and it was a 20-degree bag, and it weighed 1 pound, 15 ounces, and that was $710. So it was less money than yours. But this is something that's like in people's wheelhouse of possibly purchasing. But then I compared that to the Outdoor Vitals Summit Down 15-degree bag, 5 degrees warmer, and it just weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces, so it's slightly lighter weight, and it's $374, so just about half the cost.
Yeah.
So crazy. Crazy.
Well, like I said, I mean, you can go on, there's websites where you can go customize your bag, get whatever colors you want in it, decide what kind of down you want.
Right.
You can pick every feature of it, and you're still going to come out $400 or $500 cheaper than this thing.
I know.
I mean, it's and 0 degree. I mean, I think I found a Kelley sleeping bag that was a 0 degree that was less than a pound heavier than this and weighed like $150. And I'm like, in the wintertime, you don't hike long miles.
Right.
You don't do ultralight in the winter. Like, just forget that. That's not happening. People don't do like 25 miles in the wintertime, except for like through hikers. And most of us are not through hikers.
Correct.
So you're only going to do a few miles. So having an extra pound in your pack's not as big of a deal as if you're like doing 20 miles or something like that. Right. So I think this is just, I know people swear by Western Mountaineering. And if you're hearing this, hey, send me a bag and prove me I'm wrong.
They might be good quality, might be legit quality, but I've had success with the Outdoor Vitals bag. So
yeah. Oh, and I've got an Outdoor Vitals 0 degree that I used recently, and it was their quilt, their top quilt.
Yeah.
Awesome bag.
Right.
Awesome bag. Like I said, you've got, to me, like if I'm going to get something, the two companies I'm probably going to are either UGQ or Outdoor Vitals when it comes to sleeping bags or quilts.
Right. And so, but you brought up Kelley. So if you're going to like a 0 degree scenario and you're like, I got a Kelley bag rated to 0 degrees, I don't think I'm bringing that one. Just saying.
Well, I don't know if I believe this one, to be honest with you. The only companies that seem to be honest about that are cottage companies, and Western Mountaineering is not cottage. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're all over the place now. So,
right.
I don't know if I trust it. I should, but I don't. So,
okay. Well, that was yours and mine. So I'm gonna let you keep going because, I had this pretty much the same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to a tent because I got 2 more left. And I'm gonna skip to a tent, and that's the Ultimate 2 Ultralight Pyramid Tent by Hyperlight Mountain Gear.
Okay.
That comes in at a whopping $699.
Okay.
$700. But here's the thing. There is no inner to the tent. That's just the outside shell.
Okay, it's like a pyramid shell, basically.
It's a pyramid shell with nothing else in it. If you want the netting, $400.
$400. Oh, wow.
And here's the best part. Yeah. There's a carbon stake you need for the middle of it. That doesn't come with it either.
Oh.
So if you want that, then you have to pay, let's see, another
$700.
$80.
$79.
Another $80.
Okay.
To get that.
Right. Right.
So when all's said and done, you're spending $1,000 on a pyramid tent with a big pole in the middle of it.
No, you're spending more than $1,000. It was like, wasn't like almost $1,200.
Yeah, when all's said and done, I mean, you got shipping and tax and all that stuff,
plus tax, and So,
and here's the thing, I own a Durston X Mid 2 Pro, $700 tent, but that tent comes with everything it needs. There's no like, oh, by the way, nice tent, but you've got to buy this. Oh, and by the way, you can't do that. You got to buy this. Like, to me, that's a ripoff.
Right.
That is a like all-time ripoff. And Hyperlight makes great gear, but they are way overpriced.
Right. I'm happy to have a Durston alternative to what you're suggesting with Hyperlight, because did you know that Dan came on our show just like a couple months ago and tried to kick my backup co-host Ben off and tried to replace him as himself as a co-host. That happened.
He should. He'd be a great co-host.
Yeah, he's legit. He's pretty funny. But yeah, okay. I like your alternative.
Of course, Ben seems like I've never met Ben.
So one day.
Derek is my spirit animal, so I can't. I gotta be careful.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'm gonna piggyback on you again, not with tents, but with Hyperlight mountain gear. So, and it's not just this company, but and feel free to disagree because I have a feeling you are. Is I'm against, generally speaking, I'm against Dyneema bags, like the purchase of Dyneema bags. And Hyperlight Mountain Gear makes a Dyneema bag, I think they call it a pod, for just a mere $59. You can store some gear in a small container for $59. You can replace the Ziploc bag that you find in the drawer in your house 10 cents with a $59 bag, and it will do the same thing. Right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it. The only thing I would say is sometimes if things get shifted around in your bag, it's easy for a Ziploc to come open, and then you could have a mess on your hands. I mean, it's possible.
Like what kind of stuff are you doing in your bag? You just like rummaging through it, like taking stuff out and tossing it? Garage sale?
That, or I mean, when you're walking, things shift while you're walking in your pack, So
the way that you walk can open Ziploc bags.
Well, I am a violent walker. So, yeah. But I mean, even like when you pull your food bag out and you shove it back in and you push it down, it's always possible. And I have had a Ziploc bag bust open on me once. Luckily, it was nothing big. It was like my med kit. So I had Band-Aids all over the inside of my sleeping bag, or my sleeping bag in my backpack. But I mean, it happens.
I think you're creating problems or overemphasizing problems that have happened to justify the fact that you have multiple Dyneema bags that are in your backpack and that are fancy and that you don't need. Am I correct?
I wouldn't say necessarily don't need. Some of them are actually really cool. Like I've got a couple that are double pocketed. You can't get those like other things. So you can separate things in them. They're nice. Okay. They're I mean, let's be honest. Most of the stuff we buy in backpacking is probably overkill on some things. A lot of us get bougie. On things like a jet boil.
They do. Here's my argument that I've made, and I think I made this when Rob Pelton was on our show, but he's pretty fired about bags. And I'm fine. Like, you want to get a Dyneema bag, like you think it's an important piece of your gear, awesome, fine. You want to pay $59 to Hyperlight Mountain Gear for that, and you feel good about that decision? Great, go ahead. My point is, I don't understand why people are like fired up about the bags. They're like, dude, I just got the best bag. Like, it's a stinking bag. Like, it's cool if it helps you out, but why are you excited? Like, I don't know where the excitement comes from about this.
Okay, I get that. I mean, I would say for food bags, I will almost always have like a Dyneema bag or an Ultra fabric bag, only because they're more waterproof than anything else. And if you're going backpacking, you're hanging your bear bag up, I want something that's not getting wet. Okay. I don't want to get inside my food bag and be soaking wet. So that's one bag I will say I will go there on that. But the other ones, I think the other ones are just nice because they're light. I mean, they are lighter, but they're also kind of nice.
Okay. We do not see eye to eye on this. Was my pack...
It's okay.
Was my pack lighter than yours in the last trip? I forget. Did you do the pack weigh-in with us?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I think my pack, everything in was 21 pounds.
So you had the lighter pack. Okay.
Yeah.
With the bags.
Yep, with the bags.
All right. I stand corrected then. There you go. You win. You win again, John.
Well, that's what I do.
I'm just here to win. Okay, what's the next item on your list?
Okay, this is my last item. And this one, I'm telling you right now, this is the most absolutely ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Go ahead and pull this up because these are Tarragon Pioneer Stakes by Tarragon Gear. And I'm sure they're good people. They're super nice. These are 3D printed titanium stakes. But there's a problem here. One stake.
Yes.
$25.
Right.
One stake.
Right.
And that's not the expensive one. The expensive one's the $29.49 steak.
$29.49, right. Wow.
What? For steaks.
Yeah, like you said, people want bougie stuff. They want premium stuff. If you're fancy with your bags, these steaks are for you, right?
I mean, here's the thing. I like the idea of them. Okay. I think what they are is fantastic because 3D printed titanium is virtually just indestructible,
Okay.
virtually. So,
Right.
I mean, it's going to be really hard to break these or bend them, or I get that.
Mm,
But it's a tent stake.
right.
Like, that's like me going out and saying, I want to get a pair of socks, and I'm going to spend $4,300 on a pair of socks.
Right.
They're socks. They're under
Right.
your clothes. Nobody sees your
Yeah.
socks.
Just like their bags. You can use Ziplocs. Same line of reasoning right there.
You just want me to concede. That's all it is. You just want me to concede. But I found these the other day. It was actually on a Durston forum.
Okay.
They were talking about tent stakes, and somebody said, "Oh, Tarragon stakes are the best ones I've ever seen." And the next comment was like, and it was literally this, "Bro, I'm not spending $25 on a tent stake."
Yeah.
And I was like, $25?
Right.
So I had to look them up. And then when I found them, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. There's
Yeah.
no way.
That's a lot.
So yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Some people are super passionate about tent stakes and they'll buy carbon fiber, titanium. They'll spend some cash on them. I just take what comes with the tent typically. And you can shave some weight, but we're talking, it's just like, how much weight are you going to shave with a couple $100 as tent stakes, right? You're going to shave down a few ounces at the most, probably not even that, maybe like an ounce.
And here's the thing. I'm sure the people that run Tarragon gear are phenomenal people, like awesome.
How do you
people.
know that? They could be really mean.
I'm gonna err on the side of they're good people.
Okay, unconfirmed.
That's just overpriced, man. I can't spend. Now, if they want to send them to me, I'll take them. I say that every time because I hope they send me stuff. But I mean, if they'll send it to me, I'll try them out, and if it's fantastic, maybe I'll change my tune.
Okay.
But it's gonna be hard to convince me to spend $25. It's gonna be hard to get me to spend $15 on a single tent stake.
Right. I can't think of the last time I bought steaks. When did I buy steaks the last time? It's been forever. I just don't buy tent steaks. They just come with the tent.
I think my last tent steaks I bought were when I got the Durston tent because I wanted to use groundhogs instead. Okay. And Z-Packs was having a sale on theirs that are basically the mini groundhog. They're just blue and they say Z-Packs on them.
Right.
And I think I got them like on clearance for like $1 a piece or something.
Not bad. Okay.
I think it was something cheap like that. And so I've got a whole set of them that I use for my tents.
Okay. Well, I'm with you on the stakes, 100%. And since you brought up Z-Packs, last on my list happens to be Z-Packs. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not picking on their pack. I kind of picked on them when Justin was on the show, and he's like, there is no comparable pack. And he laid out his argument, and I'm like, Justin, you know more about gear than I do, so I'm not going to argue with you.
I actually agree with him on that. I heard that, and I was like, I was doing this the whole time he was talking because, honestly, the best pack I own is a Z-Packs pack. So
okay, well, I'm gonna try one out this year, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm in on some of the Z-Pack stuff. Is what I'm trying to say. But some of their they're big on the accessories. So if you click on their accessory link, they have a ton of them, and they're not all made by the Z-Packs brand. They kind of partner with other companies as well. But just to give you an idea, so they have a front utility pack accessory which hangs off of I think it's supposed to hang off your sternum strap so you can just grab stuff out of there. If
see it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
If your hip belt pockets are insufficient, and $75. Pack covers, a lot of people don't even like bringing pack covers, but if you want a Z-Packs pack cover, that's $75 as well. $75 for a pack cover, man. $75.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. And Osprey sells theirs for $40, and I thought that was a lot. And I was like, oh, I was wrong.
What did you notice? Osprey a few years ago came out with this $800 or $900 backpack. This super bougie backpack.
I saw something on that.
It sold 4 of them or something. Nobody bought it, and they don't even make them anymore.
Did they ever solve the Osprey pack squeak issue with their suspension? Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear about that.
One, I forget, because they're always coming out with new editions of things. It's really hard for me to keep up, especially with them. They have new stuff all the time. It feels like every year, but it's probably not. And one edition they came out with, I think it might have been their Pro Packs, was the suspension, no matter how you wore it, no matter how you packed it, it would go as you're hiking. And
really?
Just super annoying.
It sounds a lot like what people had with the Z-Packs Dyneema packs there for a while. They were doing the same thing.
Other packs do that, but theirs, it was all their packs did it, and it wasn't fixable, essentially.
Really?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe it's fixed now. I don't know. Probably.
So, when was this happening?
I heard about, I feel like I heard about it a year ago or so.
Okay. This is probably their newer stuff then, I guess.
Well, we did an episode on top 10 most annoying things that you can't solve or you can't fix or something like that. And I said pack squeak because some packs just squeak. And somebody was like, Yeah,
Right.
all the Osprey ones. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's where that came from.
I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a new Osprey pack though in like 6 years.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know.
All right. Well, asking the wrong person. That's all right. Do you have any more on your list?
No.
Okay.
Those are, I think I gave you all the ones that I would get all fired up about. I had a backpack on here, but I'm not worried about that one. It was only $877.
I think we covered 8. So that's 8 gear companies that are ripping you off, or at least most of them. I don't know if you're buying that jacket that John brought up, but the other ones, like maybe might be in the market.
I mean, this is bougie backpacking at its finest, man. Bougie backpacking. If money is no object.
Speaking of all that stuff, we've got overpriced trivia coming up right after this. The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Rowan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie-cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, we got overpriced trivia brought to us by Teton. JK, what do you know about Teton?
I know that they've been making backpacks for a very long time, and I've seen several out in the woods, and every single one I've seen, they're hardy, man. I think that's the best way I could put it. It's kind of like the ultralight packs don't necessarily come off as like bulletproof, but Teton packs kind of have that feel to them. Like they could take a beating and just keep going, and really sturdy. I mean, if you're one of these people that likes compartments and places to put stuff and pockets, these are your backpacks for that.
Right. What do you think? You think like a bear attack?
I think if you were in a bear attack, I think you could throw that at them, and it wouldn't help you because I don't think they could smell the food through the fabric because it's so good. You
wouldn't like swing it around to like cover like as armor, like frontal armor essentially.
Now, if you wore it as armor, I think you could stop at least shotgun shot. I don't know if you'd stop a bullet, but I think you could stop a shotgun shot from
That's
getting
a different scenario, but I like it.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I think if a bear attacked you, I think it would be highly protective.
All right, well, I would like to suggest to Stephen Smith out there, if you're looking for a video idea, I think can Teton stop a shotgun shell while wearing it as frontal armor is a great video idea. So just
I think it's a fantastic idea. Yeah.
All right.
My life outdoors needs to happen. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And we fully expect to get a cut of whatever he makes off that video.
Yes, correct, which is millions of dollars.
Because we now have proof that we came up with it.
We do. It's
like,
just recorded here.
came up. We have proof. This is in film. Like this has been videoed.
Yeah.
We are in. So
speaking of this stuff though, we've had you on the past. We typically put something on the line for trivia, and I've done that before, and then like I've won. And now the guest that I've invited on that is kind enough to come on the show now like owes me something. I feel like that's really socially awkward. So there's nothing on the line for this trivia. So this is just for fun. All right.
Okay.
That being said, we'll see what you know. Overpriced trivia. Here we go.
Okay.
Number 1. Which of the following overpriced items have the biggest markup?
Ooh.
A, movie theater popcorn. B, restaurant soda. Or C, diamonds.
It would have to be diamonds because you pull them out of the ground, right?
They're comparing like the base price or what the going rate is versus what they end up getting marked up to be, I think is kind of what the comparison is here.
So are you talking on a percentage basis or
Correct.
a dollar amount?
Yeah, percentage basis.
Okay, on a percentage basis?
Yeah.
It's got, man, because I worked in restaurants and I know how ridiculous the markup is on soda. I feel like it's a trick. I'm still going to say diamonds just because you put it in there.
Diamonds is on, all three of these are on the list, so there's no real bad answer, but soda was the correct answer.
Soda was the correct answer. Okay.
Yeah, it's like two, I think it costs like 5 cents a glass, to make, and so it's like $2.50 or $3 or whatever. It's like 3,000% markup, whatever that is.
And if you go to a movie theater, it's like $6.
I know.
For like a small, like a 12-ounce soda.
Although some movie theaters are giving you free refills, so there's that.
That's true, but then you got to come out during the movie and get a refill. Yeah, you're never going to do it. Unless it's one of the ones like a movie tavern. You ever been to a movie tavern?
No, we don't have those.
They come to you and they deliver the food to your seat.
Right.
So you can get refills and they'll just keep bringing them into you.
Okay. That's nice.
That's cool.
That is cool. Okay. Number 2, according to Money Talks News, which of these items I'm about to list are overpriced? A, greeting cards, B, shoes, or C, milk?
Okay. Repeat the question one more time just so I make sure I've got the scope right on this one.
According to Money Talks News, which of these items are overpriced?
That's it.
Yeah, they have a list of like overpriced items, and when you go onto websites and do searches, like there's a lot of crossover, like
right.
Movie theater popcorn's overpriced. So I try to find different sources, diversify, if you will.
And so it's milk, greeting cards. What was the other one?
Shoes.
Shoes
is incorrect. It was greeting cards. Greeting cards.
Really?
It's like a piece of paper. It says like happy birthday, and then there's like flowers on it, and then it's like
$3.
No, some of those are, if you look, some of those are like $10 now, some of them.
Well, yeah, that's because I'm cheap and I go to the bargain bin. I never get the expensive ones, yeah.
You go to the bargain bin, but then you go to the movie tavern where they serve you. Those don't match up.
Yeah, but what's better than going to a movie and having a steak delivered to your seat while you're watching a movie?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying you're like, I'm cheap, but I go to the movie tavern and have a steak.
Oh, I'm cheap when it comes to a birthday card.
Okay.
Every time. But I'm going to buy my Dyneema bag, dang it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all these dots are not connecting, just to clarify. Number 3, according to BuzzFeed, who is not a price gouger? A, airports, B, funeral homes, C, Legos, or D, Apple?
Like, they don't ever, like, nothing relates to anything. Like,
you're so confused with these questions. You're blowing you away.
Because, I always think about the prices of Legos and funeral
What do you
homes.
mean?
It's like together all the time.
Overpriced trivia. Everything's about overpriced, price gouging, markups. It all relates.
Okay, I'm gonna go with, just because it's morbid, I'm gonna go with the funeral homes.
Oh my gosh, you must not have had somebody close to you pass away. Those things are like so out of control.
Yeah, they're overpriced, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I said which is not overpriced.
Oh, which is not overpriced. I thought. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Then I am gonna say Legos.
Little chunks of plastic that they're selling for hundreds of dollars for like a little set. Strangely, it was Apple. You just went over 3 on trivia, my friend. I should have put something on the line. I should have put something.
Well, I won all the other stuff, so I had to give something back to
fair.
you. So
That's fair.
You know, now Apple is not overpriced.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, that's what the thing said.
I mean, it's like
right?
comparable to their competition, right? It's not exactly the same, but it's comparable.
Yeah, but I would say if you want to buy a Windows computer, it's a whole lot cheaper than an Apple computer, right?
If you buy a Windows computer with the same capabilities, it's definitely cheaper. I don't think it's like night and day, though.
Yeah, interesting.
Versus like airport food versus regular food.
Oh, yeah, airport food and funerals. Yeah, like that's why I said funerals were first, like, because I got it backwards on that one, so.
No, yeah. Legos surprised me that it was on the list, but then when you think about it, you're like, sometimes you buy those little boxes and it's like, oh, yeah, for this little box, it's like $30. Like, for what? To build like a Lego minifigure?
It's the licensing. It's the licensing.
For some of it, but some of it's just like,
if you just buy a little box of Legos and it's just like house, it's like $5.
No, it's not.
But if it says Star Wars or Marvel or DC Universe or, any of that stuff, or Harry Potter, all of a sudden it's like $512.
Yeah. I think even the house ones, the Lego City or whatever they call it, I think even those are egregiously overpriced. But this wasn't even according to me. This was according to BuzzFeed. So there's that.
BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed, when I go to like price things, I always go to BuzzFeed.
Okay. So you trust them?
No, I'm actually just making that up. But
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, aren't they a tech company? Isn't BuzzFeed like a tech company?
I don't know. I'm just Google searching and it sounds legit.
I thought you knew what BuzzFeed was.
I don't know. I'm just shedding the blame, so to speak. All right. I got one tidbit before we close out. We've got, I think it came out last week. My timing could be wrong on this, but after forever of working on this project, we finally have another documentary out that I think is worth your time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's called 50 Miles, Lord Willing. And this is the documentary that hits a couple episodes from kind of, I don't know, like the archives of our show, where it involves search and rescue. It involved guys just getting lost in the wilderness and then a couple of us tried to do this 50-mile loop in a day once again. And so it kind of just ties everything together. We brought all the footage together to tell, hopefully, a compelling and interesting story. And so that's now out on YouTube. It's not monetized. There's no incentive. Even if we just get one view on it, and if it ends up being meaningful or helpful for somebody, then it will have been worth making the show.
Well, I'm actually interested in it. And right now, I'm looking at your podcast from this week with Justin Outdoors. So
okay,
I'm going to leave this computer screen on your YouTube channel, and I'm going to sit here and stare at the screen every day until it comes out.
You're too kind, man.
And I'm going to try and be the first person to watch it.
Dude, you're too kind, man. I appreciate you even being interested in it.
Well, you did one a few years ago that I thought was awesome. You showed the workouts leading up to going, and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so it's like that one, but it's and we do some of the workout stuff because Rocky's his regimen is so ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully it'll be good. I spent a lot of time on it. You never know, right? You never know.
Like I said, I genuinely enjoyed the one that you did before, so I can't wait to see how it comes out.
Okay, so we'll have a link in the show description. If you want to check out the #1 backpacking podcast, it's literally called the Backpacking Podcast, hosted by John Kelley and Jeremiah Stringer. That link is in the show description as well. And is there anything else you want me to put down there?
No, man, because I quit putting out videos like a year ago on my YouTube channel, so I don't want to disappoint people. So, but definitely come check out the Backpacking Podcast. And we decided, TikTok's about to fail, and by the time you watch this, it may have already happened. It's gone. And so we just got on TikTok in the last 2 weeks. So we figured let's jump on it now, and then if it fails, we didn't really lose anything. But if it keeps going, hey, new videos.
See what happens.
So
congratulations for helping China spy on Americans. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I try and do what I can to help the government.
Seriously, John, thank you so much for taking the time and jumping on the show while Derek's out. I think he's back next week if I got my calendar correct. And hey, everybody, have a great week and God bless.
I want to fly around the world.
To all in the B&B, this is Rock. And yeah, I'm about to talk about something that we all know too much about. And those are ripoffs. What are the biggest ripoffs in this life? Well, let me tell you what they are. Number one, our flesh. Our flesh makes us want things that we don't need and that aren't even good for us and that end up killing us in the long run. Number two, the world system. The world system just feeds the flesh and shows us more stuff that we don't even need, or shows us more ways to impress people that we don't even care about, right? Through commercials and advertising and all that type of stuff, manipulative stuff like that. And then number one ripoff of all time is the ripoff artist king himself, which is Satan. He just feeds on our flesh and feeds on the world system and just puts those two things together and orchestrates them so well that it eventually just kills us, literally. Ripoffs, Satan, flesh, the world system. And now there is another ripoff, which is definitely worth mentioning. And this one, folks, you got to be aware of this one big time. I just fell victim to it the other day. I was at Knott's Berry Farm with my wonderful wife, and we were enjoying the Knott's Berry juice. It's boysenberry juice that I think is one of the best beverages on the planet. And obviously no alcohol, of course. We don't drink alcohol. So, yeah, we had 4 big things of, 4 big cups of this Knott's Berry boysenberry juice, and it was delicious. I went back for a 5th, and here's where the ripoff came in. Filled it up, came back, let my wife have the first sip, being the gentleman that I am, and she goes, what is this stuff? And so I take a taste. Sure enough, she's right. It's not the boysenberry juice. It was something else. I went back down an hour later after getting on our ride to see what had happened. Sure enough, ripoff number 2. It was a diet drink label that looked exactly like the regular drink label. Huge ripoff.